This week on Location, we're setting out to find a home for a young family in one of the most gorgeous parts of Scotland, the East Neuk of Fife.
Welcome to Location. This week we're in Fife, on the search for a family home by the sea.
Fife is one of Scotland's best-kept secrets, an area where you wake up to smell the sea, where the gulls are the nearest you get to noise pollution, and where the views have been inspiring artists for centuries.
But this particular dream is only a 40-minute commute away from Edinburgh and an hour and a quarter from Glasgow. You can work in the city and be home in time to catch your own fish supper. And Chae and Corinna are planning to do just that. Hi there.
Hi, how you doing?
Nice to meet you. She works in Edinburgh, he works in Dundee, and Fife is bang in the middle. And it's the place where they want to bring up their young daughter, Ailey.
We're really moving for her. We want somewhere, a nice traditional old house by the sea. Take her for walks down at the seaside, build sandcastles, run in the waves, things like that.
So what are we looking for then?
We're looking for something a bit traditional.
I think the word is character. That's
Yeah,
what we're looking for, you know, something with
the
a bit
C
of character.
word, right?
Yeah. And a view would be nice.
Yeah.
Not
sea
essential.
view would be lovely.
Yes, yeah.
Garden?
Definitely. People get really frustrated with us because we're incredibly fussy. Far too fussy. We probably would have moved about 2 years ago, but we've just been messing around, looking for things with just that right wee things.
So we're looking for an older style property in a village location with a minimum of 2 bedrooms and a budget of 70,000.
Yes.
Yeah?
And Lower Largo is your favourite location?
It
Yeah,
is, yeah.
definitely.
That's where we've been concentrating on so far.
Sounds easy, but not for Chae and Corinna. They've been holding out for a traditional 2-bedroom property in the East Neuk for nearly 2 years now. And before we start our search, they showed us what every property story has. The one that got away.
This is the first property we ever looked at in this area. It's an upstairs flat with an upstairs downstairs. It has 4 bedrooms, big rooms.
Wow. Huge. And why didn't you go for it?
It was more a recce almost for thinking of moving to the area at a future date, seeing what was on the market, what they were like. We didn't realise we wouldn't find another place like this again, unfortunately.
Yeah,
If you saw that one today, would you buy it?
In an instant.
absolutely.
That's really tough.
I know.
Coming here and standing outside.
Yeah.
The one that got away.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely was.
The East Neuk is the Cornwall of Scotland, a chain of small fishing villages huddled around its craggy coastline. Of all these villages, Lower Largo is our couple's village of choice. Not only is it one of the most idyllic, it's also just a stone's throw from the main Edinburgh to Dundee trunk road. Crucially, it's also just minutes from Corinna's mum, who looks after Ailey when they're both at work. But there is a catch with Lower Largo. It's tiny, and it's a favoured retirement spot. Not much in the way of a property market then. So we're going to spread our search to include several of the similar style villages along the coast.
Our first property is a traditional 2-bedroom terraced cottage, and it's only a 15-minute drive from Lower Largo. It seems to be roomy enough, and it certainly looks great from the schedule, especially as it's on the market for offers over £65,000.
The details talk of an amazing view, and that is spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah.
Certainly is.
It is a beautiful view, I quite agree, but I am quite sceptical about it, and I'll tell you why. Unless you own everything between you and the view, you have no way of guaranteeing that you're going to have that same view in 10 years' time. There's the town. We can see new development on the edge of the town. Suddenly you'll find that up to the windmill, there's the windmill housing estate, and your view's gone. If you're purchasing a property just because of one aspect, you've got to think, can I hold on to that aspect?
How about the room? Is the room big enough for you?
It's a funny shape.
The more we looked around, the more we realised that the whole cottage was a funny shape. Whilst this can add to the charm of an old property, having the master bedroom situated off the living room was always going to be a difficult selling point, especially so for Chae and Corinna.
I don't think this room layout will work for us as a family, with our bedroom leading off the living room and our daughter in another part of the cottage. I don't think that would work.
And that wasn't the only disappointment.
Now, at first glance, this property seems peaceful, secluded, idyllic. But in actual fact, you come out of the back and you're living in very close proximity to 3 other cottages. In these circumstances, it would be crucial that you get on with your neighbours, because in some ways you'd actually have less privacy here than you would if you were living in a town.
And there was more.
If you do look out the window, there's a busy road running right past the front of the house with a toddler and 3 cats. We can't live with it.
You see, again, clever detail. So you see the stone cottage and the beautiful garden.
Looks lovely.
But there's no mention of the road. I always look out on details for a double yellow line. If you see a picture of a house and there's a bit of pavement, and just in the very front there's a double yellow line, you think, motorway.
Right.
You know, running straight past the door.
This is one house that didn't quite live up to the promise of its schedule. Our next stop is in the tranquil Newton of Falkland, 15 minutes north of Lower Largo.
This is the only inland property that we're viewing.
It may be inland, but it has fabulous views of the countryside.
It's in one of Chae and Corinna's favourite villages. It's an old cottage and it's on the market for offers over £55,000.
After you.
So here we are. Cottage sitting room.
Right.
Well, I know you're very keen on original features.
Aye.
First impression of the space?
It's modern. Old on the outside, modern on the inside, you know.
Modern is good or modern is bad?
Modern's bad.
All right.
No modern.
OK, it might be modern, but the whole renovation has been finished to the highest standard.
The kitchen is an extension and doubles the size of the living space, which our sellers have used to make a dining area. Upstairs, nifty little cupboards have been built into the walls, and all the rooms have had Velux windows fitted to make the most of the views and to maximise the light.
The good thing about this Velux window is it gives an excellent opportunity to have a proper look at the state of the roof. Are any of the tiles missing or slipped? Is the lead flashing OK? Is the guttering OK? I'm pleased to say this one looks perfect. He's got a big smile on his face. Is this good or not?
I think it's just me imagining coming home from the local inn and smacking my head off these things, you know. It's pretty wee, especially with the coombe ceiling, I think.
Not to worry, there are plenty of villages to choose from, giving us scope to cast our net even wider.
The price of property in the East Neuk varies greatly from village to village, and indeed from street to street. In the most prestigious areas, a sea view can command up to £500,000, and a move of 5 miles down the road can take the price of an average 2-bedroom house from £50,000 to £105,000.
The demand for good properties here has led to fabulous new developments, like these luxuriously converted loft apartments, which were selling recently for £250,000.
20 minutes up the coast, we found a real treat. It's a ground floor flat in a traditional terraced row in Anstruther, just a minute's walk from the harbour. It may be a little further away from Lower Largo, but at £57,000, Kirstie and I think that this place is a bargain, and it seemed ideal for Chae and Corinna.
This is nice.
It is nice, isn't it? It really is.
Aye. It's got a real nice feel to it. I think.
Yeah, it has nice atmosphere.
Helped in no small way by the garden outside. It's beautiful. The situation's lovely.
The garden, although it looks as though it's for 2 flats, it's all owned by this flat.
Great.
And the other thing is it's south-facing, so the sun would pick up in the east, set in the west. All day you'd flood into this, it would be stunning.
Yeah. This is the master bedroom.
Yeah.
More sun, even more sun.
Lovely and bright.
Yeah. I think that the combination of practical things, you know, like the garden's lovely, it's in a really nice location, the rooms are a good size, and that intangible thing that you just can't put your finger on, which is just the feeling.
The gut feeling, is it going?
Yeah. Haven't had it before.
What's it
for a long
like?
time. Nice.
Not only did Chae and Corinna love the interior, but the fact that it had its own parking space went down very well.
Ideal.
And we've got one extra little surprise for you. You've got the back garden.
Wow.
Yeah.
All good stuff then, and well within their price range. But trust Kirstie to find a slight niggle.
There's one thing over here which is slightly concerning me. There's an empty plot at the back here.
Right.
Now, this is a conservation area, so even if something was built, it would have to be adhering to very strict regulations.
Yeah.
The thing about a conservation area is that it's as much a responsibility for the people who live in it as it is across to bear. You can't just put in windows willy-nilly, you can't put any old slates on the roof. It's quite a long list, and if you've got work planned, which you probably wouldn't have with this house because it's in really good nick, but in the future you'd have to check what those regulations were.
It's got a lot of what we're looking for. It's got the original features, the cornicing, the high ceilings, much like we had in Edinburgh. The rooms are a decent size, I think, and it's got a really nice feel about it, which is the one thing which we haven't found so far, and that's really important to us.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Property 1 was a funny shape and on a busy road. Property 2 was just too new on the inside. But Union Place has definitely got Chae and Corinna excited. Could this be the one, or can we find them something even better? Join us after the break.
For money-saving tips on what to look out for if you're thinking of doing up an older property, visit channel4.com/. We're in Fife, searching for a seaside home for Chae and Corinna for £70,000. And so far, our search has taken in 3 properties, one of which really hit the mark.
But it's 20 minutes by car from the village that we were supposed to be looking in. When it comes down to it, it's just not in the right place. So it's time to give Lower Largo another go.
If you're really keen on a specific area, try leafleting. We've typed out these leaflets for Chae and Corinna. Make them short, to the point, include a telephone number, and don't mention a figure. I'm going to go off and bung these through the doors in Lower Largo and see if it gets us anywhere.
Sometimes a bit of local knowledge can find you a winner. And I've just been told that this ground floor flat is coming onto the market very soon for around £40,000. It's got 2 bedrooms, a huge garden and bags of potential. And although we can't view it just now, Kirstie and I thought we'd check it out.
If, as in Chae and Corinna's case, you think your family might grow, then look for property which can grow with it.
The thing is, it's cheaper to build than it is to buy.
With a budget of £70,000, Chae and Corinna could blow £30,000, turning this into their dream home.
A quick and easy way of establishing the likelihood of getting planning permission for an extension is to get yourself in the garden and see what the neighbours have done. If they've already extended, the chances are you'll be able to do something similar.
If this flat were mine, here's what I'd do. I'd extend onto it big time. I'd bring this entire section right out and it would come all the way back down here, so you'd be tying up with this wall here. Here there'd be these big windows which opened up into the garden. Not only would you be doubling your living space, but adding value as well.
And if you were to clear this, you'd have the most spectacular open view.
It's got good scope for extension, I think, actually.
Is that something you'd be prepared to take on?
I
don't
think so.
think it's suitable for us, to be
No.
honest.
So, right town but wrong house. Maybe Lower Largo isn't such a deal breaker after all.
It's got to be the traditional villa or stone-built cottage.
Yeah, that's what we're really looking for.
We'd live in the right place somewhere else, but we wouldn't live in the wrong place, the wrong house in the right village, if you see what I mean.
Right, no, I see what you mean completely.
So we're back on the road again. Our final property is just 15 minutes down the road from Lower Largo, in the village of St Monans, and it's twice the size of anything we've looked at so far.
We're now in St Monans to show Chae and Corinna this semi-detached villa. There's bags of space and there's even a sea view. It's on the market at offers over £68,500.
And it's my favourite, so let's go and check it out. Come in. It's a bit of a maze, because I know there's a labyrinth of doors. There's a lot of space, and you've got to work out how you're going to arrange it. This is the best bit. You've got to come and look at this garden and this view.
Great.
It's everything that a seaside town view should be.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's really fantastic.
Yeah.
Corinna, how important is the view?
I want to wake up every day and open the window and let the sea air in.
So that would be pretty much perfect.
It's ideal. The whole sort of package is is looking quite good.
OK.
Now, this is not the door that we came out of, you'll notice.
Yeah.
This seems to be a second kitchen, but I think, in fact, it's a laundry room.
Right.
Moving on up. This is nice. The view just expands the higher you get up.
Fantastic. And you can spend hours in here
Yeah.
just sitting gazing out the window, really, you know.
OK, the interior could do with a bit of character building, but there's tons of potential for improvement. It's the kind of space they could grow into as their family grows up. And the surprises keep on coming. All this space for £68,000. What a bargain.
It's really quite rare to see original cornicing like this.
Yeah.
People tended, when they built the house, to put the features, the most expensive features, on the ground floor, and as you came higher, there was less care because the guests and visitors didn't come up here.
Yeah.
But they've built this with real care. It's a fantastically built house, real sense of solidity about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So have we got it right this time? They're still not sure.
I like the idea of sitting out there and having your breakfast looking out over the water.
Yeah.
But it's possibly too big.
We've spent 2 days looking for the perfect home for Chae and Corinna, and we reckon we've got 2 strong contenders. They liked Union Place in Anstruther at £57,000, and the house in St Monans for £68,000 had space in abundance, as well as that longed-for sea view. Now that they've had a night to think on it, which one will it be?
Well, you know why we're here.
We do, yes.
Do you have a favourite?
We do.
We do, yeah. Number 1 is Anstruther, Union Place.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's time to second view Union Place. While Chae and Corinna weigh it up, Kirstie and I are going to give it a thorough going over.
God, I've been so looking forward to coming back.
Yeah, us too.
You just walk in and it's got that same feeling.
This flat looks beautifully maintained, but how thorough have they been? One of the things I want to have a look at is the condition of the fuse box.
When I first looked at this, I thought, old fuse box. Turns out, on closer inspection, that this isn't the case. These are new push-button circuit breakers rather than wired fuses. And all the wiring here, here and here going into the meter is brand new. Things aren't always what they seem. The thing about this room is it seems smaller than it is. It's a bit misleading because there's that huge cupboard over there. There's no need for this. It's already 3 inches away from the wall as it is. This chest of drawers won't be here. That chest, again, is quite big. If you had Ailey's bed along this wall in the opposite direction to what it is now, you'd have tons of floor space, which is the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think she'd love it here. I mean, it has got lots of floor space and plenty of room for everything she's got and more, because she'll accumulate tons more, I think, as she grows older. So, yeah, we need the space.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to do a bit more of a recce on that field.
I'll tell you one thing. This field does bother me, and what it could be used for in the future. I've got to find out some more.
Time for a quick chat with the owner of the field.
I'm just trying to find out a bit more about this field out the back there.
I have nothing planned at the moment, but if somebody comes up with a good offer, who knows?
With a sale on the owner's mind, I need to get some more information from the local planning office.
Well, that was interesting. I've just come off the phone to the planning department, and although they say there never has been an application for development in the field, seeing as it's already surrounded by houses, any future application would be seriously considered. I think long-term, that field will be houses.
So it's back on the phone, and this time I'm checking whether the trees are protected. If you're worried about potential building work destroying trees and as a result your privacy, you can apply to the council for a tree preservation order. All you have to do is prove that the trees enrich your life, and this goes even for trees that are on the developer's land. The process can be completed in a day if the application is of an urgent nature, and it's only a phone call away.
So what do our couple think now?
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly picture us here, and I can certainly picture us here with Ailey. It's just a couple of the practical problems we have to go through in our minds and try and see if we can, if it's worth bearing them for a really lovely house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that it's spot on as far as their budget's concerned. It's on the market for offers over £57,500.
They were really looking forward to coming back, weren't they?
I really like it. I still really like it, but I still have my reservations.
Yeah, it's still got the same great feeling about it as it did yesterday. That hasn't changed. Again, it's a beautiful sunny day, so it's so bright, this house, and got a real warmth to it. That hasn't changed, but again, the location hasn't changed either, and the distance it is from family and such like. That's the only problem we have with the place, I think.
Do you think they'll buy it?
Well, if I was a betting man, I'd say they would. But we'll have to wait and see.
We've been hunting for 3 days to try and find the perfect home for Chae and Corinna. Although we're 20 minutes up the road from their dream location, we think we might have found them exactly what they're looking for, and with cash to spare. Will they go for it, or is 20 minutes too far?
We do know what we want now, and you've found it for us, you know. And the points you made about the development at the back and the trees are ones we would never have thought of in 1,000 years.
Never.
We would never have even thought to check what the field was going to be used for. It wouldn't have entered our heads. So, I mean, you really helped us out.
It's a complicated enough decision-making process, and there's so many factors to consider. Are you confident enough now or not to put in a note of interest?
I think we need to discuss that, because I think we're kind of thinking along those lines. We might put a note of interest in, and then at least we'll be informed of any developments. We don't want to leave it too much to chance.
I think it's just a matter of now taking those last couple of steps for us to discuss just whether we should put our money where our mouth is, or hold on and wait for the right place, the house like that, somewhere else. If that flat was in Lower Largo, we'd buy it tomorrow.
Yes, definitely.
It's over to Chae and Corinna now to weigh up the pros and cons of the right house in not quite the right location. If they do decide not to go for it, at least we'll have helped them to realise that Lower Largo really is the most important thing on their list. Thanks very much.
First.
OK, give us a hand.
As if I'd left to get you first.
So, if they do decide location is everything, they've got to be really strict and not even glance at anything that isn't exactly where they want to be.
We've had a fantastic time in the East Nuke of Fife.
And we managed to find Chae and Corinna one of the best properties they've seen in 2 years of looking, although they're yet to decide whether it'll be their future home.
But we've got to cast off for our next assignment.
I'm a bit surprised at you though, Kirstie. This isn't your usual mode of travel, is it?
No, I love boats.
More the luxury liner, I thought.
You are me.
After much deliberating, Chae and Corinna decided not to go for the Anstruther flat and to wait for something similar to come up in Lower Largo.
I think we really realised that there are great places out there, out with Lower Largo, but they're not Lower Largo, and that is the place we want to be. And if a place like the Anstruther flat doesn't persuade us to go that extra few miles away from our work, then probably nothing will. So Lower Largo's the place to be.